In this part 4, we are delving into the critical aspect of suturing, that is, the different types of suture needles. So, let's start first with parts of needle. So, ideally, there are three factors which decide about the quality of a needle, that is, the alloy, which is the material made of, the geometry of the tip, the body, and its coating. So, friend, this is a needle of number 5 ethibond. Ethibond, this suture is used in basically thoracotomy surgery, and we will be talking more. So, in future videos, so this is one of the thickest material available, number 5, made of polyester. So, the different parts of needle will be like the cord length is from the swage end, that is the suture end, to the tip, that is cord length. Needle radius is straight perpendicular distance, and needle length is basically total length of this curve. So if you see carefully on this leaflet of the needle, same needle which we have depicted here, so they are different characteristic, and they have given the length, that is 55 that is the total length of a shaft, and different characteristic, that it is a taper cut, the basically this triangle inside the circle is a triangle cut, and this body and needle point and swage end. So just this is for the introduction. We'll talk more as the discussion evolves. So friends, for all practical reasons, all needles are made of stainless steel. Basically, there are basically three types of shapes available. One is straight needle, one is circular or part of the circle, and another is J shape, that is ski needle. So, for all practical purpose, the straight needle is not used anymore. It is more of a historical significance only. And presently, we use circular needles only, and the circular needle can be half circle, 3/8 circle, basically 5/8 circle. So that depends how much part of circumference you are using. So most curved needles that we use in general surgery or in GI surgery will be a half circle or 3/8 circle configuration. The bigger configuration like 5/8 are used basically in closed cavity, like in hemorrhoidectomy, in vaginal surgery, or in urogenital surgeries. Friends, you can pause the video here, and I have shared the link to this table. Is one good article I found over web. So you can basically go through all these things, how the different type of needles are used in which part of the surgical specialties. So like quarter circle, they are basically 1/4 circle. So they are basically used fine seizure like eyelid surgery, microsurgery. So in general surgery, as such, we use mainly half circle. So basically, they are thicker tissue, generally used like trunk, abdominal, muscle peritoneum. The J-shaped curve, J-shaped basically ski needles, they are more used in the laparoscopic surgery. So like this 60 needle, basically this fine needle. So the again just see, it is 3/8 circle. So the smaller circle is there. Only basically 3/8 circle, the length is there. The length is 8 and it's a round body. So basically you see there's a circle with a large dot inside. So it's a round body, the body, and the tip is blunt. So it is just for the demonstration for you guys that there are different aspect of needle, that smaller the needle, basically finer the suture material will it be. Like here we are using 60. Finer circle, basically 1/4 circle eye surgery, 3/8 half circle GI, urogenital, CBS, dura, eye, and HPV surgery. 5/8 circle basically used in anal surgery like hemorrhoidectomy or vaginal surgery, urogenital surgery, where there is a lesser space to basically rotate the needle. In for historical aspect, there are different type of the eyes of the needle, like closed eye, there is a French eye, there is swased end. So friends, for all practical purpose, in the present era, you will use only the swased end, where this thread is needled inside the shaft of the needle body. It is close-up view, and here you can see that swased end is basically narrower as compared to the body of the needle. So that is the whole purpose, that we want to, if we use a open eye, then this thread end will be broader, and it will cause more tissue trauma. So we want to keep the eye end to be narrow as much as possible. As I said, These Swaz needles are atraumatic and eyeless needles, lack a traditional needle eye. Instead, the suture material is directly attached to the needle, reducing tissue trauma and making them suitable for microsurgery and delicate procedures. So, needle tip points anatomy, friends. Basically, friends, these are basically there are six types of needle point tip available. That is the blunt point, taper cut needle, conventional cutting needle, reverse cutting needle, and side cutting needle or spatula needle. So we'll discuss one by one all the needle points, and it is important part of this video so that you understand where to use what and what are the advantage and disadvantage of one over the another. First of all, reverse cutting needle. So there is a cutting edge on the convex side of the curve. So the outer side of the needle, there is a cutting edge. So it penetrates tough tissue, making them ideal for skin closure and procedure involving dense and or fibrous tissue. So fibrous tissue. So a friend, just remember that reverse cutting needle and basically traditional cutting needle, these will be the one of the most common needle that you will get. Used to during the initial part surgical career. This is the close-up view of a needle, and basically there's a triangular section of the this cutting edge, and it is not the whole basically length of the needle, only the last part, usually one third part is where there is a cutting edge. The rest of the part will be normal flattened surface. So just understand that there is a cutting edge basically towards the outer side, and so this is tough tissue like tendon, sheath, and skin. So but again understand, as you take the curve of the needle, so there is a cutting edges toward the outer side. So as you pass the needle through the tissue, so there is no cutting edge towards the basically wound margin, so there is a lesser tear of the tissue. So as far as the coding is concerned, this is the 20 silk suture, and this will be a reverse triangle. So the cutting edge is toward the outer side, and as I said, you have to see that the cutting edge is not the whole. It is not cutting edge. It is only the last part. Usually the one third circumference part of the length of needle is cutting edge. Rest is normal flattened. And again the 45 written here is the length of the needle shaft, and 3 by 8 is the circle part of the circle this length they have used in this needle. The next most common needle that you will use will be the basically conventional cutting needle. In the conventional cutting needle, the cutting edges towards the concave side, that is the inner side of the needle. So as you have to understand that as you pass the needle through the suture, then the cutting edge is basically towards the wound margin. So there is possibility of tearing or tissue damage. Here the leaflet is same, the needle which I have shown here, there is number 1 silk. So this is the, here again you see that there is a triangular shape, basically this logo over the needle, which is basically showing that the cutting edge is toward the concave inner side. And as I said earlier, in case the reverse cutting, this is the triangle will be reverse. So again 60 mm is the shaft length, and 3 by 8 is the circumference they have used, and this is a conventional cutting number 1 silk suture. Due to the edges on the conventional side, needle is towards the concave side, so toward the incision or toward the wound. So these are avoided for tendons reconstruction and oral mucosa, because they can easily tear it out. Needle is blunt point needles. The tip of blunt point rounded body needle, because all blunt point these needles are round body only. One will be taper point, one will be taper cut, and one will be blunt point. So blunt point needles are round body needles, completely blunt to minimize unintended injury to viscera and surgeon's hand during abdominal wall closure, as it dilates rather than cut through the tissue. So it is simple logic that the tip of the needle is blunt rounded, so it will simply separate the tissue in front of the tip and will not cut it or will not pierce it. These needles are basically used during the surgery on very delicate tissue like maybe spleen, liver, or kidney, where basically we want to avoid the injury. As we insert the needle, it should not injure any other vital structure, and so there is a minimal collateral damage. Basically, blunt point will dilate its path rather than cutting it. Next, taper point needles. Again, these needles have a sharp point, but basically it gradually the body, as I said, all these needle has a round body, so the round body gradually tapers to a point, sharp point. So there's a gradual tapering. These are very versatile and commonly used needle in general surgery, including soft tissue and GI procedures. And basically, they are more precise and there's a minimal tissue trauma. One is basically for demonstration purpose, the taper point needle for you guys. Here you can appreciate that the tip of the needle is basically whole round body, and then this gradually tapering to a point. So there is a gradual decline in the diameter of the needle. Next is side cutting point needles, and if you have used any of these needles like side cutting or the ski needle, do share the description and information in the comment section or in the chat option on the app. Basically, there is a cutting edge along sides of the needle shaft, and these needles are flat on both top and bottom, and basically they eliminate undesirable tissue cutout of other needles, and basically used in surgery on scleral or corneal tissue. So basically in opthal surgery they are used, and because they allow the needle to split through the thin layers and travel within these plane between them. Another important needle that you will come across is taper cut needle. So this is the taper cut needle which I discussed before also. That is number 5 suture ethibond used during the thecotomy surgery basically, and we have already uploaded a open thecotomy videos. Do check that out. And so this is number 5, and there is a basically a round circle, and in between which there is a triangular basically. Taper cut needle is very versatile needle, friends, and although it is designed for use in sclerotic and calcified tissue in cardiovascular surgery, it is commonly used in hard fibrous fascia which is difficult to penetrate. So it penetrates with ease, and further there is no damage because the rest of the shaft is round body. That brings us to the end of this video, and friends, just remember, every stitch you make brings you one step closer to the mastery. Embrace the challenge, embrace the journey, and become the skilled surgeon you aspire to.